Today, the Bitcoin rally is back on as the cryptocurrency surges as high as $93,000. Robinhood relists crypto tokens it took off its platform at the height of the SEC's crypto crackdown. And Marathon Patent Group's Fred Thiel breaks down the outlook for miners after Trump's win and Bitcoin's rally. Welcome to CNBC's Crypto World. I'm Mackenzie Sigalos. Crypto prices roaring again this morning after taking a beat yesterday. By noon Eastern, Bitcoin set a new record just shy of $93,500 before retreating back to that $92K price level, up more than 6% in the past day. Ether, meanwhile, gained 1%, and Dogecoin surged 14% to 41 cents. Now, this follows President-elect Donald Trump's announcement that Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy will lead a new Department of Government Efficiency, nicknamed, of course, Doge. Okay, let's talk about the top stories. Robinhood is bringing back some crypto offerings that it previously delisted. The company announced today that it's re-adding Solana, Cardano's ADA token, and Ripple's XRP to its US platform, which were taken off the exchange in June of 2023 as the SEC stepped up its crackdown of the industry. Now, Robinhood is also adding Pepe, which brings its total crypto offerings to 19 tokens. The move comes as companies anticipate more lenient crypto regulation under the Trump administration, including a shift in enforcement action at the SEC and the potential for legislation on Capitol Hill. Robinhood was trading flat as of noon Eastern. Next, Japanese crypto exchange Coincheck is set to list on the Nasdaq via SPAC. The SEC approved the Tokyo-based firm's application to merge with Thunder Bridge Capital Partners and list on the Nasdaq around December 10th. The company would trade under the ticker CNCK. Now, if the deal closes next month, it would set a path for U.S. investors to gain exposure to foreign crypto businesses. Last, the fall of Sam Bankman-Fried may be coming to a theater near you. Variety reports that Apple Studios and A24 are in early development of the film, which is an adaptation of Michael Lewis's book, Going Infinite. The film would reportedly be written by Lena Dunham, who created and starred in the HBO series Girls. Lewis spent time with SBF before and after the collapse of FTX, which he documented and published a year later. The book faced some criticism at the time, with some people claiming Lewis was allured by SBF. All right, let's talk about crypto miners for our main story. Publicly traded miners are headed between 4.5% and 8% lower this morning. Now, those losses haven't put a dent in their week-to-date gains, though. Marathon, for instance, falling 7% today, but up 21% so far this week as Bitcoin surges. Now, I spoke with Fred Thiel, the chairman and CEO of Marathon Patent Group, about the company's outlook following Trump's election win and this dramatic Bitcoin rally. Okay, so let's start with the rally and miners, specifically this week. You're among the best performers since Trump won, and we've seen this divergence where pure play miners are outperforming ones that also deal in AI infrastructure. What do you make of the crypto miner rally right now and that differentiation between pure play versus AI?
Well, I think the key driver is Bitcoin price, right? Because our cost to mine Bitcoin is fixed, relatively speaking, in the short term. And then as the price of Bitcoin goes up, our profit margins grow dramatically. Marathon, or MARA as we're now called, is different from the other pure play because we have such a large hodl. I mean, we have 27,000 Bitcoin in our balance sheet. We're continuing to grow that. And there's an expectation that because of our hybrid model being somewhat of a pure play miner plus a small version of a MicroStrategy, having this hodl as the Bitcoin price goes up has a huge impact. I mean, you look at the convert transaction we did in August when we bought a large amount of Bitcoin, that has appreciated by a huge amount in 90 days. And so I think that's why we are outperforming right now. It's this hybrid strategy. We hold a lot of Bitcoin, but we also mine a lot of Bitcoin. We've also announced recent expansion relative to the AI players. You know, it's the difference between intention and materiality, right? You know, they intend to do, when you look from an actual amount of AI hosted capacity that has come online, you know, really Core Scientific's the only one with any material amount of hosting capacity that's operational. Everybody else is yet to be built, yet to be contracted, yet to execute. And you look at TeraWolf, for example, up hugely, yet what do they really have? So I think the market is looking at Bitcoin price and saying, okay, we're not worried about Bitcoin miners going out of business because Bitcoin is crashing. We're worried now about Bitcoin miners making a lot of money all of a sudden, and so they're going to grow, and maybe that takes the attention off of the AI piece, but we'll see.
Now, from a policy perspective, the Trump administration looks better for crypto than Biden's. How are you feeling about policy and what this next administration will mean for Marathon?
I'm very bullish for what this next administration means for us and for the rest of the miners. We were one of the co-founders of the Bitcoin Voter Project, which was a project funded by three top miners, specifically focused on identifying and targeting voters who had interest or an opinion regarding Bitcoin and mobilizing them to come out and vote. And it was hugely impactful in the Sherrod Brown-Bernie Moreno race, which was a very important Senate seat that we helped flip. You know, the crypto industry had a sweep essentially in their candidates, which was very successful. As I look at policy, President-elect Trump was very adamant at the Nashville conference earlier this year about supporting Bitcoin. We're already seeing some of that in his appointees, all very pro-crypto, all very pro-Bitcoin. So I expect we will see movement in the Senate on Senator Lummis's bill around the strategic reserve, which at the end of the day, 2 million Bitcoin held by the US government will have a substantial impact on the price of Bitcoin. So that's driving this price bump also. We're seeing a lot of positivity around banks being able to potentially custody and collateralize Bitcoin, which all of a sudden means you're opening up Bitcoin as an asset class to the $200 trillion of investors that exist out there. And just a small, tiny fractional allocation of 1% to Bitcoin because of the fact that it's finite will drive a huge impact on the price.
Now, you showed up at a lot of these meetings with Trump, including a closed-door session, on the sidelines of Nashville. Members of your team were there in Mar-a-Lago. Are you still involved in this incoming administration? Are you talking to the transition team, advocating for your industry in this period since they won?
Yes, so we're very actively talking to a number of the people involved in selecting. The industry was asked to submit a list of potential candidates for various positions on the list of open positions that will be appointed, which we did as an industry. And we continue to consult closely with the members of the transition team on things we think are important to us as an industry. And again, I think, they're very receptive. They're very open to it. President-elect Trump has made some commitments regarding what he intends to do kind of in his early days of his administration regarding Bitcoin, and we look forward to seeing all that come to fruition.
With respect to the advice that you've been giving President Trump on who he might want to appoint, who was your SEC pick? Who did the Bitcoin mining industry land on? Yeah,
I'm not going to disclose the specific picks because obviously the transition team is kind of sorting through all of that now and making decisions. As you can see, there is a priority order kind of positions they're trying to fill, which are the primary cabinet seats. I think as we get down to SEC, CFTC, et cetera, there will be a number of options there. But from an SEC perspective, there are a number of commissioners who have been very pro-crypto. Both Gao and Hester Peirce have been, and there are outside candidates who are also interesting. I think every company has a slightly different perspective on who they like. Being maybe one of the sort of more elder statesmen in the industry, I like some continuity, meaning I prefer somebody who really understands the job and knows what it entails and knows what it takes to do it, such as a former commissioner, such as somebody who's been in that position before, a Jay Clayton, Giancarlo, or a Hester Peirce or a Gao. Somebody who knows the job, as opposed to taking a crypto industry person and tossing them in there.
Last question for you. What's your outlook for 2025 with respect to company expansion plans, where you see the crypto market broadly and Bitcoin in particular moving as well?
So we're very optimistic, obviously, about Bitcoin now because the U.S. being one of the largest economies in the world and having an ever-growing amount of Bitcoin as an investment asset activities going on and being one of the biggest equity markets, we're very bullish on banks receiving approval to custody and collateralize Bitcoin. We'll see a ton of different derivative products which will be made available to U.S. investors, which today are not available to U.S. investors, such as the ability to build derivative contracts with payment in kind as opposed to payment in cash. So non-cash settled contracts where you're actually buying and settling them in Bitcoin. And I think that is a very unique type of product, which will hugely open up this market to a variety of investors. I think the Bitcoin miners will obviously benefit from this continued price appreciation. So pedal to the metal, everybody's going to hit the accelerator button and continue to expand as fast as they can. And we also believe it's very important to look at the energy generation side as Bitcoin miners. And we've recently started expanding into owning our own energy generation around flare gas. And I think you'll see us do a lot of things around the renewable energy space where we drive our energy costs down to net near zero as possible through a combination of owning energy assets and providing services to energy consumers. So very excited about that for 2025.
Okay, that's all for Crypto World today, but we'll be back again tomorrow, and we'll see you then.